Okay, so this video is to cover a few different things the build can do that I didn't want to put in the setup video because it's already long enough. Um, we're going to talk about is adding extra power in Jincao, limiting water in Jincao to get the right amount of power, how to make Jincao Tea instead of Yazhen, max production with a transferring from Valley 4, minimum production, heavy Xiranite Carousel, the parts, batteries, and components of Wuling City, and I guess I'll show the Purification Node at the end, or talk about how you get Purification Node for those who may want to do it. But I'm not going to show you how it's done. Alright, so in Jincao, if you want more power, because for some reason, look, you just don't want to take down your turret network, and you don't want to put batteries in them, which batteries last forever, please just put batteries in your turrets. Just please do that. But if for some reason you don't want to, you can put another thermal bank down here in Jincao and set port 6 to another battery. We are overproducing, so if you put another SE Wuling battery here, it really doesn't matter. Alright, it's not going to kill anything. So that's how you get extra power. Limiting water in Jincao. There's a picture in the document. Delete all that. There's a picture. I gotta fix this. That's actually 36, not 30. But there's a picture in here. Where is it? Where's the picture? Here. That shows you the setup that I have to get the proper limit. So what that's showing is this over here. You can't see it. You can't see it overhead. The tree isn't. This freaking tree that came with upgrade 4 is in the way. So, but it's this right here. So it's splitter down. Well, I guess inputs to the north, converger pointing south or down, then a splitter to the right, and you connect this right here, the 30 a minute from the first splitter. This goes to the reactor. The one out of the converger, that goes to the planting unit, and this one out the side goes to the fluid supply unit. Alright, so that will limit you down to get like 46 powder a minute, which will send 30 up to this reactor crucible, and the other 14 to 15-ish. It's like 13 to 15. I don't know the exact amount. To your depot loader, and you'll use this for your deliveries, and it won't clog as fast. So that's kind of why I did it. Don't have to do it, but you can if you want to. Oops. Next. Jincao Tea instead of Yazhen. So, if you're limiting, you only need 11 plants in here. If you're not limiting, then just put a full stack. But you'll just change this out from Yazhen to Jincao. This will automatically start putting in Jincao instead. But you need to come into the filling unit and make sure you get out any of the... it might do a weird clog thing, but just check it and make sure it's not making Cuprium bottle with Jincao solution, okay? And it'll just do it automatically. You don't need to swap the ports here. And then up at Wuling, you'll come up here. And you will change this port. Port number 1 will get changed to Cuprium bottle with Jincao solution. Alright, Cuprium bottle with Jincao solution. And it'll just start making it. So you might need to clean it out from here as well. You might need to clean out the bottle from here and change that. If there's like 2 or 3 in here, you have to take it out and let the Jincao go in. So that's how you make Jincao Tea instead of Yazhen. You can also do that if you're just approaching too much. Like I have 70,000 Yazhen, so I might just swap it over to Jincao and let that charge up. Alright, so if you want to make maximum batteries here, you're trying to make max batteries of LC or SC, you'll need extra Dense Originium Powder, right? You'll need extra. To get that extra Dense Originium Powder, you can't get it from here. We just don't have enough. So you actually need to go to Valley 4, and you need to set up... Oops, sorry. Wherever you have some space in Valley 4... I think mine is up here. No, it's not. It's, I think, here. Wherever you have space in your AIC in Valley 4, you are going to want to set up 1 or 2 Originium ore things that will make you Dense Originium Powder here. So mine looks like this. This is all you need. 2 shredding units with Originium ore coming out, and a grinding unit where those 2 go in, and sand leaf powder, and it goes in. Alright. Now, you can... look, you're probably not using too much stuff. in Valley 4, but you can turn off some shredders if you want. If you want to turn them off, turn off some like 4, so that covers your 4 ore. But you'll have to do this to get excess sitting in your inventory, and then you'll come up to Dijon, and then you need to transfer it over. So I do this while watching TV, man. I've been watching Blackish, so I've been transferring while doing that. So you just watch something, or I don't know, pay attention to it or something. But you'll come in. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Whatever. So you'll come to this depot. Now you want to stay on this main tab. This is the easiest way I found to do this. Stay on this main tab. Don't go to products. Scroll down. For me on keyboard, it's control left click will put as much as it can in my inventory. Swap depot, go to Wuling. X. Scroll down a little bit so you can see how much you got. Deposit. Switch depot back to Valley 4. You'll see why I said to do it on the main. And now it's right here still. So you don't have to keep scrolling down. Now the reason why I say you need to see how much you're putting in is because it will let you just keep depositing over 82,000. And it'll just delete whatever you put in. So you don't want that to happen. But you keep doing this until you have as much as you want. I just drain it out every couple days. And I regulate it with those item control ports. I'll show you what I mean. So you just sit here and do this. But it's to get max production. Now you do not need to do this. This is just if you want max production of batteries, okay? You do not need to do this. But once you have that, this is how I do it so I don't run out of Dense Originium. Running out of Dense Originium doesn't matter. It won't affect anything but this extra battery. So you'll just end up pooling some Xircon and pooling some Xiranite, but like it really doesn't matter. And it's like by like 5 a minute. Like all your Dense Originium used for these batteries is produced right here. So it's not affected. It's only 1, 2, and 3, these 3 outputs. So how I do this to not run out is I just set this to 5,000 and hit the reset button. And this way, these two will use 10,000, and I should never like accidentally run out. But you can also test it and just leave it running and see how much it drains. It's going to drain 60 extra a minute. So just do your math on that, right? So you don't run out. Yeah, so that's the max. That's how you maximize production. I guess you would turn off the gearing units, but really it's just about maximizing this extra packaging unit. So now this thing is making it like 18 a minute, I believe. Yeah, it's at 18 a minute. I think, and that's because it's 3 packaging units. For the LC, it'll work at 6 a minute. The LC battery will say 6 a minute in the AIC report. Alright, so minimum, if you're like, I want minimum production, however, you would turn this off. Or I'm sorry, not off. Turn this on, limit it to 1. This on, limit it to 1. And you could turn this guy off too. You technically don't need to use this Originium ore. But you kind of do want it running, or at least like kind of both lines running to use up some of your Xiranite, so your Xiranite doesn't clog as well. If your Xiranite clogs, all this starts turning red, which I guess isn't really a problem, and it just kind of keep working, but it's to use up some of that Xiranite. For both this making the Xircon and making the LC batteries that come here. You can also have your gearing units running, so if you want this to use as little as possible, you just really turn it off, but you can wind this down and turn on your gearing units, or turn on one at a time and leave this at half, like 2 lines like this, and then turn on one of them, right? Now, if you turn on this one, it's going to pull from this line, so you probably need to activate a second line and let this one kind of auto balance. But it'll be fine. It's going to produce enough. If you need Cuprium Parts, I have this here for you. Just turn that off. And if you need to make a lot more, like I really need Cuprium Parts, you just delete these 2 belts and let it all run into the loader. And then once you're done, just connect it back. Alright? That's how you get more. And if you really, really, I don't know why, but if you just really need even more, I don't know how you would do it, but you could like take this fitting unit and connect it down. Like you delete this belt, delete this belt, delete this belt, and connect this fitting unit down and over and up into there. You just take one of these, or probably this guy, because you don't actually need this belt. This is for flavor. Okay, so that was maximum production, minimum production. If you're using the Purification Node and you want minimum production, let me show you this actually, because it's a little different for you. The Purification Node in Wuling in test area will actually just pull up a bunch of Xircon for you. So you don't actually need to use it for anything. So you could do where you just turn this guy off. Just turn this off and turn this on. And all your Xircon will just go into the water treatment unit and get dumped out. So or not Xircon effluent. So you're not making extra Xircon, and you can pull up some Xiranite. I do that sometimes. I'll pull up some Xiranite because I like used up too much or something. And that's how you can regulate that. When you do that, however, if you turn this off, or like me, if you do something where you turn both off, the conduit outlet here will just kind of keep pooling, but you really need to leave this water treatment on. Don't turn both off at the same time, because this needs to drain out this stuff. But your outlet right here, if you really want to pool it, or if you're like me, which you've been building, this will actually store up and send a ton of effluent to you. So I'm actually making like 90 Xircon right now as it's trying to dump out a lot of that effluent. Oh no, it dumped it all out. Never mind. It finally did it last night then. I had like, it was running for like 10 hours. This thing was pumping 90 from the setup video yesterday. Okay, so that's minimum production. Alright. Heavy Xiranite Carousel. I showed this in both setup videos, but I'll do it again just in case. So two things with this heavy Xiranite. If you don't want the carousel, but you want to save that, like, 'cause I think it's like this initially, right? I'll redo it. So it's initially something like this, right? So if you want to save this one box, you change this port to Hedonite, and you connect it in. You change this port to heavy Xiranite, and you connect it down into the gear unit. So that'll save you one box if you need it. Alright, now for the carousel, you're going to change this fitting unit, go straight across, and what you'll do is you'll put down... Actually, delete this little 6 hexagons right here. Delete this. And you might have this bottles in a different position. I think it actually looks like it's back one, and you'll have this guy in the way here. So move this shredding unit's output to this top port, and then change your bottles to look more like this. So you want this space right here open, right? So you'll take your splitter, you'll put it right in front of this fitting unit, right? Then you'll put a converger going down, and then you'll have a splitter like this, pointing this way, all right? Connect the splitter coming from the fitting unit into the converger, connect the splitter coming down into the gearing unit, and then connect it to the converger as well, and then from up here on your heavy Xiranite port down into this splitter. So you'll have this. So this will start the carousel for you. I have another build where you can actually get all of these on one belt, but that's dark technology I'm not putting out there. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do it for myself soon here, maybe, but it's kind of inconvenient, so I may not. But I'll probably do it because I want to make sure, I want to see it working. You can get like 2 belts. But see, this is the problem. You have to like kind of micromanage it because it is gearing unit and turning these on and off and stuff. So it's a little bit of pain. It's a little micromanaging. That's why I didn't want to put it in. Okay, so that's parts, batteries, and components. Obviously, if you need Hedonite parts, you just turn off the gearing unit. I think that's only 2 parts, right? There's no more parts here. Yeah, Cuprium Parts, Hedonite parts. Talked about components and balancing out your Xiranite. Obviously, it will also pull from your packaging unit, so it'll slow down this production by 25%. It will also slow down this production by, like, not 25. Let's have 25. Like 13, 12.5% to slow it down, so just be aware of that. If you really need more protocol space, obviously get rid of this. You can get rid of this pipe, this little line right here. But listen, if you need more protocol space, please do what I talked about. And all your little zip lines running to stuff like this, these rare ores, you don't need zip lines there at this point, alright? You just don't need them. Yeah, I think that's all. One more thing for people doing the purification unit, this shredding unit right here controls how much extra powder you get. So if you, for some reason, need more than the 15-ish powder it's going to consume, you need a full 30. I'm using like 13. If you need more than that, just take off these limiters. Take these limiters off and just remove them and connect it straight in. All right. For those of using water treatment, just turn these buildings off and turn the unloader off so it's not reds everywhere. Now, last thing I'll talk about. Let me edit my little thing here. Keeping the factory clean. So I talked about this being like an end game. We're overproducing factory, blah blah blah. It's because we're using all of the available resources, right? I'm not leaving natural resources on the ground, and so this is going to overproduce, and that means you need to stay on top of your factory. So if you're not a psychopath like me, you probably don't log in every day and check your AIC report to see what's producing and how much you have in the depot, okay? But you kind of will need to, because you don't want certain things to cap. Things that cannot cap: heavy Xiranite, Hedonite parts, batteries, and this Yazhen Syringe / Jincao Tea. Those are the 4 things that you cannot let cap, okay? Because they all need Cuprium to stay running. So how do you deal with these? You sell them to the depot. Or sell them to the outpost. If you cannot sell, you need to just like get rid of them. You just go into destroying mode and start destroying some stuff, okay? Destroy like half of it or something. With the Yazhen Syringe, you can actually change this production over to Jincao Tea from earlier in the video and make a whole nother 82,000 Jincao Tea while you sell off some of the Yazhen. With the Hedonite parts, you can delete them or make components. Components really slows down your Hedonite part production. It can eat the whole thing, and they take forever to make. This took me like 2 weeks to get 82,000, so that can help as well. With SE batteries, you can move them to Valley 4 if you want to, or you can just delete some. Heavy Xiranite is the same. You can just sell it or delete some. You can't really, no point in moving it. So just make sure you keep those balanced, or not, and from not capping. If you're not good at that, make sure you go down to Marker Stone. All right, come down to Marker Stone. This is for both builds. And every reactor doing Xircon, all these blue and green reactors, you need to turn the auto clog on. All right. Now, if you turn that on, you might. Actually, I'll put this in here too. If you turn this on, you might not catch when your factory's underproducing unless you look at your AIC report. I'm assuming if you're using my build, you care a little bit more about factory than just setting it up and throwing it away. I'll turn this off now. So it's a little bit of like something to do every day is checking your factory and making sure it's good to go. Like I kind of incorporate factory gameplay as part of my daily stuff I do. All right. So if you do have the auto clog on, it doesn't do it automatically. I think it takes a while to do it. But what it'll do is it'll show red for a little bit, and then it'll dump everything, and then it'll start working again, okay? But it works kind of janky like that. So you need to just, if you see it and you need to try and fix it, more than likely you fuck the water up. But look, you shouldn't be messing water up at this point, all right? It's right here. It's very clear. Use the stuff I sent you, and get your water right. If it's some other issue, you might have to check here. Did you somehow fill up your shredding Cuprium powder because you capped on Hedonite parts, right? You need to diagnose. I mean, you can ask me as well, but you just need, if you have an error here, you need to just start working backwards. If it's like, oh, I have some error, and these are all red. If these are all red and this belt's not moving, it's a Hedonite issue, right? So you need to trace back. Do I not have enough Ferrium? Or the biggest culprit will be I don't have enough. I have Cuprium powders at a standstill, so now I'm filled up on Cuprium powder, but really it's that my Hedonite parts are capped. That's it. Your Hedonite parts are capped. If these ones are not moving, oh, okay, my bottles are full somehow, so now the bottles for Jincao solution might be full, or Yazhen solution may be full because Yazhen A is full, right? So you got to backtrace it because this goes out to Jingyu. If your Xircon is full, you'll see that too. Your Xircon will be paused here, which means your batteries are probably full, right? So put your thinking cap on, okay? Because if you wanted a simple factory, you would have just used somebody else's, okay? So put your thinking cap on when something goes wrong and try to figure it out before you ask me. And I say that not because you're going to annoy me. It will annoy me if you don't try something first. Like, that actually will annoy the shit out of me. But it's because I don't want you waiting for me, right? Like, you want your factory working, and I want you all, like, I would love for more people to do factory, right? Like, I want you to not be reliant on me for a factory completely. Obviously, getting this thing set up and figuring it out, that's different, right? But for operating your factory, I would like for you to know it too. So I might do another video talking about how this works and whatnot, but just the main thing is, when it comes to keeping your factory clean and the multi-clog stuff, trace back your issue until where something is actually working at, right? So if you're getting an error over in Wuling City where all this is red, or here in Markerstone you got red, you got to go and see, like, okay, well, what's going on in Wuling, right? Are all these belts full? Like, if this whole belt's full, then you got too much Yazhen A, right? If all this belt's full and this belt's full, you got too many batteries, right? Your batteries are full. So just check for stuff like that. Check for stuff like that. And if you ever ask me a question, just send a screenshot, all right? Just make an imager and make a screenshot and put it in Imager so I can actually see what you're talking about. Because it's very hard to troubleshoot if I don't know what you're talking about, all right? Okay, I think that's everything. All the extra stuff. So that's all for this video. Oh, make sure you put your Chubby Lung here. Put your Chubby Lung Bollard, or you can put the wacky waving inflatable tube flailing man. Because we are Chubby Lung truthers. We have Chubby Lung guardians guarding the factory. Alright, that's all for today. For now. Bye. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to pin this on. I forgot to bring this up. I'm not showing you how to do test area, how to run conduits to test area, but I will show you what it should look like. I had a few people, well, I had Eduardo ask me, and I was like, okay, there's certain things I'm just not going to budge on. I'm not teaching you how to run conduits. That is a pain, and look, y'all got to figure that out. But I will show you at least what it looks like at the end and talk about it a little bit, so that I guess you're a little bit more prepared. That's my consolation. What the hell? Oh, that's my that was creepy. I did see that one day, did not realize what it was. Scared the shit out of me. Alright, so this is for Purification Node stuff. I'll have to pin this onto the video. So this is what I have. So you need each purification or sewage inlet can hold 4 sewage, right? It can actually hold more, but it's 4 because we only have 4 anyway. Or the pipes can only move 4, right? And so I have a conduit outlet manifold because of that. You need 3. Excuse me, let me back up. There are 10 free lines of sewage, okay? And if each conduit can hold 4, that means you need 3 conduits, all right? 1 for 4, 1 for 4, that's 8. The last one to hold the last 2, that's your 10, all right? So the one that's carrying 8, you can put into a conduit manifold and just have 1 building instead of 2 conduits. But you can also just keep it split into 2 conduits. It's fine, whatever you want. So you'll make sure you have 8 going into here. I mean, honestly, you can do 3, 3, 3. I think this is actually like 3, 3, 3. No, this is 4, 4, 2. But you can also do a 3, 3, 3 split. It doesn't matter. Just get it in here. And you'll connect it to all the sewage inlets, and then you'll have the one coming out for your conduit inlet, right? Going to wherever it goes. So make sure you upgrade this to 4 as well. Don't mess around. Upgrade this to 4. And have it like that. Alright? That's the basic for Purification Node.